Hi, I'm Laura. I'm a qualified teacher from Sussex and Brunel University. I also received my Master's in Education at Sussex University as well. I've been teaching history and religious studies for 4 years, and I've been an English tutor for 2 years. And today we're going to be doing a lesson on World War I trenches and what it was like. We'll be hopefully understanding what life was like in the trenches. We're going to be using our senses, 5 senses, to describe what it was like in the trenches and hopefully write a descriptive letter from the trenches as if you were there. So first of all, I'd like you to have a look at this picture here, and I want you to just think, what words would you use to describe this scene? You can write it on the worksheet or on a piece of paper. Just looking at this, what words would you use? Think about what you can see, what it might smell like. What else can you see? This is a reconstruction of a trench found in Belgium as well, so it is still around and you can walk around it, but I'd like to think. Okay, and once you've got those, I want you to keep those in your mind because we're going to be using those a little bit later. So we're going to go on. In a minute, I'm going to show you some images and I'm going to play some sounds for you. And I'd like you to have a look at the images and I want you to think about what you can see, hear, smell and touch, okay, in the trenches. So first of all, have a look at these images and I'd want you to think, what can you see? What do you think you would feel? And also, what might it smell like? Okay. Think about all the dirt, all the mud. How does that smell when you've been near dirt and mud? What other smells might be coming across? Think about all of these things that we can see going on in the trenches. These are all predominantly in France as well. So you might hear certain languages being spoken as well. Okay, think about how this gentleman's sort of feeling right now. What else could he feel in his shoes maybe? Okay, and then in a moment, I'd like you to close your eyes for me and I'm going to play some sounds for you. I just want you to listen to them and write down anything that you might be able to hear. How can you describe it? What does it sound like to you? You heard these noises before. Okay, now you've got some ideas about what you have seen, sort of what you can hear in particular. Maybe you could write down some of these words in some of these boxes. Really think about what you can feel as well, okay? Because that's really good for descriptive writing, is making sure you can explain to your reader exactly what it was like in these trenches, okay? Now, we're going to have a go at writing a letter from the trenches. Now, these are some things that you might want to think about. These may be some of your words in your boxes. I want to think, can you mention about how hot it is or maybe how cold it is, okay? Think about the air raids, they're the noises coming overhead, any enemy shelling or enemy attacks from guns. Think about how cold the food is. It's not like you can go pop to the oven and heat up your food. Have a think, the cold food, the mud, the rain, possibly a wounded friend you might want to describe, how frightening it was, if you saw any aeroplanes, possibly some tanks if it's later on in the war. Think about the food. Is it going to be nice? Is it going to be disgusting? Think about how you can really describe these things. the barbed wire that we can see in these images here. So all of this wire that's overhead, what's that going to feel like if you catch it on your arm maybe? What it's like to have friends there with you. Are you supporting each other? Is it a useful thing to have? The rats, lots of rats ran through the trenches. Could you maybe mention those as well? And of course, the smells. It's not going to smell very nice, with lots of mud and lots of water everywhere, a bit boggy. No showers either, so that's probably going to start smelling with lots of people there as well. Okay, so I want you to really think about some of these words as you're writing. Now, on your worksheet, there is a little writing frame. If you want to use it, if you'd rather not and you'd like to write your letter in your own way, that's also fine. So dear, whoever you're writing to, could be a parent, could be a friend back home, could be another injured soldier, perhaps in hospital that you're writing to. I'm writing to you from the trenches. Life here is very different to home. I can see, and I want you to write everything that you can see there. Maybe you could really describe some of the scenes. It smells like, what can it smell like? Can you think of any of those descriptive words? The noises and how different they are to home. What could you hear in that sound that we listen to all the time? The worst part about the trenches is, what do you think might have been the hardest part about the trenches? And what would you really miss if you were sent there? And then there's a space there if you've got anything else you'd like to add. I cannot wait to come home. Oh, my love, and you put your name. I've also got the challenge for you of to see whether in your letter you could include all of these words. Okay, really think about adding as many as you can in your description.